Help Josue Coco graph the absolute value function. Here we have a simple absolute value function, absolute value of x. This is a great way to introduce here piecewise defined functions. We'll begin on our first line with x and our second line with negative x. Okay, when x is positive, x is greater than or equal to 0. When x is negative, x is less than 0. We'll minimize this, place it on the left side, this piecewise defined function. And demonstrate it numerically here. On our left we have x, on our right we have y. When x equals negative 2, y equals positive 2. When x equals negative 1, y equals positive 1. When x equals 0, y equals 0. When x equals 1, y equals positive 1. And then when x equals 2, positive 2, y equals positive 2. Now let's place this here on the left side here. And now that we have our x and our y coordinates numerically plotted down on a table, we can place it on a coordinate graph. Let's rewrite this as y equals absolute value of x. Let's begin drawing our y-axis and our x-axis. Here we have the origin, x equals 0, y equals 0. On the right, on the x-axis, we have positive 1 and positive 2. Going upward, on the y-axis, we have positive 1 and positive 2. And as we approach on the left side, we have negative 1 and negative 2. Okay, and when x equals negative 2, y equals positive 2. Here's our first point. Next, when x equals negative 1, y equals positive 1. That'll be our second point. Let's continue plotting here. We'll plot the origin here. When x equals 0, y equals 0. Next is when x equals 1, y equals 1. Lastly, when x equals 2, y equals 2. And we'll place it right about here. Our next step is to define a piecewise defined function. So we'll take the absolute value function here, generalize it on top of the entire coordinate plane here. Take our piecewise defined function and begin connecting the dots and labeling the line. Okay, we'll connect the dots here and we'll label this as this line will be labeled as y equals negative x. Okay, let's make some space here and let's continue with the top line of the piecewise defined function. Right about here, we'll go ahead and connect the dots. And we will label this line as y equals x. For our last step, we will write the domain and the range. Domain, which is our x value, will stay here is both open and closed as long as all values are real from negative infinity to positive infinity. Next, we have a range in parentheses y. We'll open up one set of curly brackets here, place a 0, moving upwards to infinity, and close with a parentheses here.